Good morning and welcome to Rebalance.
We've got the idea with the society that we're gonna help some kids, basic level, start teaching them the right things, and then take it beyond, so outside the parameters of Canada and all of our blessings.
I was playing a soccer game when I was 12 years old, and I was just taking a nice kick off the ground, and then you just hear the pop and go down. 2 years later, I was coming back and I tore my other ACL in another soccer game. It was heartbreaking. I had to go from playing soccer almost every day to just sitting out and watching.
So it's been a passion of mine to integrate, into the soccer training routine some habits that I think will help prevent injuries. Jumping and landing drills, various different warm-up strategies. And so over the years, when I've been a coach, I've noticed that my teams have very few injuries compared to other teams, and started to think, well, there's probably something to this.
Females do end up, when they're jumping, their knees do go in, and it's a problem that every female has. And you learn to jump in a good, solid landing, so you won't have any issues with your knees.
The most important advances in medicine have always come from prevention. If you think of vaccines, that's where the real benefit is to the global population. We have a vaccine for ACL injuries. That vaccine is this program.
When it happened to me, I had no idea about it. If young athletes have the awareness and people tell them about it, they won't have to go through what I went through.
There's already been some initiatives in our community to try and integrate this. So there's been two sessions now with soccer coaches in the Lower Island Soccer Division. In addition to that, also we've done a teaching session with phys ed teachers and a Pro D day. And so we're now getting into the school system. And so I'm in negotiation now with doing that at the Reynolds Soccer Academy as an example. And we'd love to get involved with any school that's interested to try and get the coaches who coach the kids to try and be just a little bit more aware of strategies to help either identify kids that are at risk or give them the tools that they can use on a daily basis to improve their ability for control of their knee over their foot.
ACL reconstruction is my favorite operation, and I think our goals of making that better are great, and I think we need to keep forging ahead. But if I never have to do an ACL reconstruction on a 14 or 13-year-old again, it will not come too soon.
Last year at the Christmas party, you gave money for me to do something interesting in Africa. We decided to sponsor 2 young African surgeons to come to Canada for the Pediatric Orthopaedic Society of North America meeting. Then they came to Vancouver and did an observership at BC Children's Hospital for a week. And finally they came to Victoria, where they visited both the Victoria General Hospital and the Royal Jubilee Hospital and observed what we do here. Both of them had expressed a great interest in seeing arthroscopy, arthroplasty, and post-fracture reconstruction work.
So we did have an opportunity to have Tewodros from Ethiopia and Francis Nero from Uganda come to our home, and Francis stayed with us. It was amazing. I did a rotator cuff repair, and both of them said, we've never seen or done a rotator cuff repair, because they have no resource to do that. So that was eye-opening for me. And it was really great to get to know them on a personal level and become friends with them. To go and visit Francis in his work environment in Kampala and Entebbe at Corsu Hospital, work alongside with him, and he having been in our office here in Rebalance and in our operating room here in Victoria, and then for him to compare and know what we would have, and him to show me exactly how he handles the same problems, or more importantly, how profoundly different the problems that they face are from ours.
They have actually asked us to enter into a partnership with them to do what we do here in Canada, what we do at RebalanceMD. The RebalanceMD orthopedic surgeons and group decided they wanted to continue to support work in Africa. So we're thinking to develop a memorandum of understanding between us where there will be regular visits from Victoria of our people from the hospital as well as from Rebalance to be able to help them set up this program in Kampala.
There are surgical procedures and techniques we have here that we can bring over there and teach them. I think it's important that we teach them rather than actually physically doing it there. If we just go over for 2 weeks a year, it's not sustainable. If we can go over and teach them and they can become self-sufficient, I think it is sustainable.
We've had nurses go to Africa and come back, and they're always completely inspired by the experience. It would be really good to transfer what we do here and how closely we work together and with our communication, and just for the best patient outcomes, if we could take that and transfer it somewhere else where maybe it might be a bit of a struggle to work in such a team-orientated environment.
Rebalance definitely has a role at multiple levels. All of us, whether surgeons, administrators, physiotherapists, everybody has a role to play there, and they will be enriched by it, as I was, and as my wife, who's a physiotherapist, was.
We decided that this was such a good project last year, and we had so much fun doing it, let's keep going. So our work in Africa is really two-pronged. One is to help support the children's disability work, and the other is to help them develop sophisticated orthopedic technologies like hip arthroplasty and arthroscopy that actually help service the middle class of the country who need these services very much. They can't be obtained now in Uganda, and also provide a good working environment and source of income generation for newly trained Ugandan surgeons.
It's kind of the time of year for giving, and maybe giving into a program that's kind of near and dear to our heart, which is orthopedic care, and into a group of people that maybe aren't quite as lucky to have the great resources, the facilities, the infrastructure we have to try and move them along into a more sustainable and kind of I guess more sustainable, more functional, more helpful kind of program. Just giving a little bit goes a long ways, as you know.
I think for a lot of us, there's always a hand reaching for more. There's a guy on the corner with a hat, and there's a big company saying, give us your money and we'll do this and we'll do that. And I think for us here at Rebalance, we'd actually like to see what's going on, to actually see a difference and understand from ground zero where it's going and how it's going to be used and what's going to happen, and then see it happen, I think is going to change the way that we do business here.
We want to make a difference in our